Excellency Somnam Wangdi, Chair of the LDC Group, Royal Government of Bhutan. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to join you virtually today for this important event. Cambodia continues to be severely impacted by climate change. Unpredictable rainfall patterns and more frequent droughts affect our agriculture, fishery, as well as infrastructures. The country experienced very heavy flood this year. The combined impacts of climate change and COVID-19 had severe consequences to the livelihoods of our most vulnerable citizens. In response, we are putting in place large cash transfer programs and a comprehensive recovery package to minimize this impact. In 2020, parties are submit new or updated national climate action plans, referred to as the Nationally Determined Contribution Update. The UN Environment Programme's 2019 Emission Gap Report illustrated that global greenhouse gas emissions are expected to fall by 6.7% each year between 2020 and 2030. This is not enough. More effort is needed to meet the Paris Climate Agreement target of 2 degrees Celsius. While Cambodia is a very minor contributor to global greenhouse gas emission, we wish to emphasize our commitment with respect to our resources and capacities. Our updated nationally determined contributions, which will be submitted by the end of this year, will include clear new targets. In forestry and land use, Cambodia commits to halving the rate of deforestation by 2030 compared to our reference level. This corresponds to 21.5 million tons of carbon dioxide in average annual emission reductions. Clear plans are being put in place for this under our REDD+ strategy. For other sectors, we have increased our target of reduction emissions to 34% by 2030 compared to 27% in our initial NDC. This corresponds to 26 million tons of carbon dioxide in average annual emission reduction. Our climate change mitigation commitments under this update NDC will also cover additional sectors such as waste management and agriculture. We are committed to work on a long-term strategy to achieve carbon neutrality. I'm pleased to announce that we will initiate the work on this strategy in 2021. Over the past 10 years, the government of Cambodia has significantly increased its national budget allocations for climate change-related activities. This budget has doubled in the past 5 years, reaching $542 million in 2019. While we are doing our part, Cambodia, as a member of the LDC Group, needs continuous financial and technical support from its development partners. Through the global crisis, in the recent months, we have seen how interconnected our economies and societies are. We must work together to achieve low carbon growth, but also strengthen the resilience of our economies and protect the most vulnerable among us. Access to adaptation finance for least developed countries remains complex. Investments in adaptation will help us prevent much larger impacts of climate change on the global economy, and they must be made now. I would like to end by thanking the Royal Government of Bhutan for their commitment and advocacy for ambitious climate change actions. In these difficult and uncertain times, we need this type of strong leadership. I thank you.